BookTube. This is Kelly with Books I'm Not Reading, and today it's time for another fake crate. This is my fake crate. There's a lot of unboxing of things on BookTube, and I'm never going to pay for or I don't know if any of those things are sponsored or not. But anyway, so I won't be doing that, but I thought I could come up with my own. I did one on Bastille Day, but I was still really new to BookTube, and I don't think anyone saw it. So a few more people will see it now, hopefully. But I'm going to try to do one of these once a month is my goal, is to have a fake crate. And it's sort of like my imaginary company. Like if I were to send out crates into the world of things, what would I send? What would I, and there's got to be a bit of whimsy, a bit of, I don't know, magic to it, right? I mean, not everything can possibly fit into this. So anyway, it's my kind of Mary Poppins, like fake crate. So I'm going to do, in honor of ShakeTube, I'm going to do a Shakespeare one today. I actually don't have very much in the way of Shakespeare kind of items to show you. I will at the end though, if you can see behind me here. This whole shelf right here behind me is Shakespeare. There's some down here and there's some above. So I'll try to get a little snippet of that at the end because obviously I couldn't put, I didn't want to take the whole shelf down. So anyway, I'll just start off. These are a couple of I believe that they are plates, like obviously copies of plates from the first Folio, and these are both Romeo and Juliet. And we have them on display here in the library. They've always been on our bookshelves. And so someone gave this to Jason and I after we were married. So I do consider them ours rather than just his. Some things are his, some things are mine. Next we have, of course, you've got to have a bag in your fake crate. So people keep giving this bag to us, actually. So I think we've gotten it at least 2 times. But anyway, so we try to pass it along. Oh, and then on the back, it's very cool. Hopefully you can see some of that. So that's fun, right? And then I also, we did used to have a game, a Shakespeare game. I told Jason, I was like, we're never going to play this. I'm never going to know enough to be able to answer any of the questions. Like, why do we have this game? And so I don't know what happened to it exactly, but I looked for the game and it is no longer there. So, however, we do have a puzzle called All the World's a Stage, and it's got Shakespeare right in the middle there. And then, yeah, there's some kind of symbol or reference to all of his plays. I don't know about the sonnets, words everywhere, but, yeah. So I know I've done that puzzle before, and if I didn't have so much reading to do this month, I would probably do it again, but I'm behind, so it's not gonna happen. I've actually been to Stratford-upon-Avon. I remember thinking that Anne Hathaway's house was just it was just too touristy. I mean, is that a thing? I don't know, but anyway, these are some postcards that I bought while I was there of Stratford-upon-Avon. And I was there, I think I was maybe 19 when I went to England that trip. And I was with my grandmother and my mother, and so we were on one of those bus tours, which is, totally fine for me. I mean, I was just happy. I got a free trip to the UK, so I wasn't turning that down. Anyway, when we got to Stratford-upon-Avon, they told us some of our activities there. And my grandmother and my mother weren't interested. But if you're gonna have a fake crate for Shakespeare, the one thing you want more than anything else in it, right, is tickets to see the Royal Shakespeare Company. Now, when I went, the Globe had not been rebuilt in London, so I didn't get to. Jason has some wonderful stories about being at the Globe. But anyway, so we got tickets, and my mom and my grandmother were like, we're way too tired. Like, no, we can't go. So I did, though. And got to see this production of Hamlet. And I always save these things because I think someday I'm going to go back and look in here and there's going to be someone super, super famous, right? And actually, the last couple ones, Jason's given me a really hard time. I had well, I'll save that for the Dickens fake crate. Never mind. So this one of Hamlet, I was sure the guy who played Hamlet, it was very modern. It was a very modern production of Hamlet. I know he was in a suit for, I think, most of it. This is fabulous. I love these programs. Look, these are the costumes in the production. I remember there were fireworks. Anyway, I was sure the guy was going to go on to become a huge star, and I don't know what happened to him. I did look him up, but doesn't sound like that was the case. But there's also this really, I should have marked it, this really great picture in here of previous productions of Hamlet by the Royal Shakespeare Company. And there will definitely be some faces you know. Here we go. So, I apologize if I mispronounce. I tend to mispronounce this guy's name, Kenneth Branagh. But there's him as Hamlet. Look how young he is. Oh my goodness. There's one at the top here with Ben Kingsley. Michael Redgrave, Roger Rees. It just goes on. Oh, there's Mark Rylance at the bottom there. So anyway, I love this. I love these kind of programs that are not just about the one production, but about, the whole thing. And then there he is again, Hamlet. So, anyway, so I thought, I'm going to find someone famous. And actually, I did. I've learned to start looking for the directors. So the director of this production was Stephen Daldry, who a few years later would go on to make a film, Billy Elliot, and later he would be the director for The Hours, A Reader, and Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. So there's my Stephen Daldry connection to all of those super famous people. And I know I'm sure I bought this plate. This is a first folio, reproduction postcard of Hamlet, because that's what the play we went to see, and it was such an experience. I think that's the only time. Well, no, I take that back. I have seen some smaller productions, very, very small productions of Shakespeare, like A Midsummer Night's Dream, but nothing. The Royal Shakespeare Theatre in Stratford-upon-Avon, I think the only thing that could top that would be to see something at the Globe, which hopefully the next time I happen to be in England, I will do. So yeah, so not as many things as I thought would be, but just some good memories. The Shakespeare production was just, it was, I think the reason why I don't remember it incredibly well is that I was just so sort of awestruck by the idea that I was watching Hamlet being performed in Stratford-upon-Avon, so by the Royal Shakespeare Company. So it was really fantastic. So if I had a company, my fake crate company, and I could send all of you who are participating in ShakeTube a crate those are some things I would send you. Now I'm going to take a quick video of the bookshelves. You can also see some of our Shakespeare mugs up here. And I'm not going to talk, normally I would try to talk about, you know, some books. Here's The Lodger. But Steve Donahue just made a video on, I believe it was September 1st, and he it's like a Shakespeare starter kit. I will link it down below. I really recommend it because it was so helpful to me to be listening, and I'd be like, oh, that sounds really interesting, and then Jason would look at me, he's like, we own that. So I think they're not all down here right now. But most of them are. Some of them are upstairs for reference at the moment. But so we have quite a collection of Shakespeare books. This is also a quick plea to any of you who are who follow my husband at Old Blues Chapter and Verse. This whole bookcase is nothing but nonfiction, and most of it is biography. So if anyone out there would like to do a buddy read with Jason, if you guys could do a biography so he would actually read, like he keeps buying them and wants them, but he doesn't read them. So that's my plug. Thanks for watching my video, you guys, and have a great day. Bye. So this is just a quick little bookshelf tour. These are some of the mugs we have, and they're primarily Jason's. This one's from the Globe, and it has a great quote from Much Ado About Nothing. There was a star danced, and under that was I born. How beautiful is that? There's another one, and then this one, which is, I love that picture of Shakespeare. It's from the Colorado Shakespeare Festival. This is the year Jason and I were married, and we tried to go see The Tempest, but it got rained out. So there's a few books down here, but then this is like primarily the nonfiction related to Shakespeare, and then we have some plays up here. I mentioned Will in the World by Stephen Greenblatt in a previous video. This is one of the books, I think Jason has taught this or maybe led a book club discussion of it. It's a memoir called Hamlet's Dresser, and just really about how Shakespeare transformed this man's life and how he just grew up around it. So he was born in Stratford, Connecticut. So that's one of the things I'd like to read. This is one that Steve might bring up when he's doing his discussion about the identity question. So this is arguing that Edward de Vere, the Earl of Oxford, was actually the person who wrote the plays. And and then it just goes on and on. We've got Berryman's Shakespeare and Shakespeare A to Z. So quite a collection of things. This is another book, Shakespeare's Wife. So that I think Steve mentioned this one as well. But anyway, so those are just a few of our Shakespeare books. Again, I didn't want to take them all out and put them in the fake grate, but I hope you enjoyed it, and thanks so much for watching.